Okay, welcome everyone to our Parasite Encounters in the Wild. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, past and present. I'd like to welcome everybody here in this room and everybody here who's watching us outside of this room, because we're broadcasting this event live on through live stream, and hopefully you can hear us and see everything. If you're anybody tweeting, if you'd please use the hashtag #ParaSWild. That's PARASWILD. And we hope that you are inspired by our presenters today as they discuss the local wildlife and their parasites. Make sure that if you're watching online as well, that you write any questions that you have in the chat section so that we can pick those up. And at the end, when we've got questions for our guests, we'll take those as well. Now, this Inspiring Australia initiative is supported by the Australian Government through the Department of Industry, Innovation, Science, Research and Tertiary Education, and it's in partnership with the Australian Society for Parasitology. We're going to hear from three fabulous presenters. And then we'll ask them back at the end to sit in the chair, and I'll be the host and they'll be the parasites, and we can question them. And we're also very lucky to have Andrew Kelly from Chuana Wildlife Park with a Tassie Devil. So we'll bring the Tassie Devil out on stage as well. Can't wait to hear what he's got to say. And just a word of warning to everybody here and watching online. Parasites are fascinating, but there's also a gross out factor which may both repel you and intrigue you at the same time, but leave you wanting to know more. So it's with great pleasure that I will introduce our first speaker, Associate Professor Greg Woods from Menzies Research Institute at the University of Tasmania. Greg's worked as a research scientist in Toronto, Canada, London, England and Edinburgh in Scotland. He moved to the University of Tasmania in 1989 and joined the Menzies Research Institute Tasmania in 2006. Greg teaches immunology, and in 2012 he was nominated as one of the medical school's inspiring lecturers. In 2011, as part of a 5-member team, the Devil's Advocates, he was awarded the Sherman Eureka Prize for Environmental Science. Most of his current research is on devil facial tumour disease, which is what Greg is going to talk to us tonight about. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you, Lisa, and welcome everyone. It's nice to see so many people here and your glasses of wine. How many people are here are from the public? How many people are parasites? I mean from the parasitologists. Well, welcome you all. I'm going to talk about devil facial tumour disease. Try to keep it fairly light, but the one thing I want to emphasise, this is a serious disease, this is a tragic disease, and people working in the program working on it are always heartbroken every time we see a photo of a devil with facial tumour disease. So even though I'm going to treat it fairly lightly, I want you to understand that we take this problem really, really, really seriously. Can you read the slides on for me? Cool. So I'm going to talk about some of the work that we've done in our laboratory with postgraduate students and honours students, and acknowledge funding that we've had from various funding bodies. Dr. Eric Geiler is a fundraising aim of the program and comes from funding. And if you're interested, this website, www.tassiedevil.com.au, has a lot of information about the Tasmanian devil. Please do not log in www.devil.com.au. It is probably not appropriate for the young. Well, maybe you will now. Maybe you will. So what I want to do is I want to talk about devil facial tumour disease as a perfect parasite. So initially, what I'd like is possibly 2 volunteers. Your name, Nicole. You can be 4, F-O-R. Second volunteer, you are Victoria, and you are against. What I want to do is, as I go through this talk, I want you to jot down how many points I make for and against the case of DFTD as being the perfect parasite. No one's perfect. So I'm going to outline what is DFTD, what is a parasite, and I was a bit astonished before because most of you are parasitologists, so you're going to be able to shoot me down pretty... I don't know anything about parasitology, so feel free to criticise me as much as you like because I'm going home tonight. The immune response to DFTD, then I'm going to ask about is DFTD a parasite, and then it's over to you to make the decision because as I said before, I'm not a parasitologist, so I'm going to need your help. So think about the points as whether DFTD is a perfect parasite. So what is DFTD? It's a bit of a misnomer. DFTD stands for devil facial tumour disease, but basically it's a disease caused by devil facial tumour cells. So it is infectious disease. And when you look at diseases, DFTD caused by devil facial tumour cells. And malaria is caused by Plasmodium. Hydatid is caused by what's that one? Echinococcus granulosis. See, I told you I'm not a parasitologist. And toxoplasmosis, fairly easy, Toxoplasma gondii. So devil facial tumour disease is a disease caused by devil facial tumour cells. Sometime prior to 1996, one female devil mutated, had a cell which was a Schwann cell, that became a mutated cell. It started to spread between devil to devil and is now spread throughout the whole island of Tasmania. So it started off in the far northeast corner of Tasmania and is spreading, and recently has been recorded in Zoom. Over about 80% of the population and has wiped out 80% of the Tasmanian devil. It is a serious disease. Every single devil that gets infected by the disease dies by the disease. Does that make it a perfect parasite? You're the experts. DFTD is a cancer, right? It is a cancer. It is a true cancer because it is malignant. It is found inside the mouth, usually the mouth or the face. That's why it's called facial tumour disease, because it's found on the face. Males and females are equally susceptible. It's more common in adults than juveniles, but doesn't mean that juveniles are resistant. And metastases are common. It metastasizes to lymph nodes, lung and kidney. And often the metastases is what kills the devil, although the tumour itself can be quite limiting on the face. One can't eat, etc. This is some of the pictures of them. A small tumour here, a little tumour here, and sometimes you get these large lesions and they can ulcerate, get infected. And it is tragic to see these guys, these magnificent creatures, these scavengers. They're the world's largest living marsupial carnivore. The largest one before was a Tasmanian tiger. Unfortunately, that's extinct. These guys are at the risk of becoming extinct as well. So what is DFTD? It's a cancer of Schwann cells. They're Schwann cells are those cells that protect the nerves. In humans, Schwann cell cancers are very rare, but here we have this disease occurring in the Tasmanian devil. This is sort of an enigma. It's a really rare occurrence, and it's occurring in Tasmanian devils. So that's the nerve, and these are Schwann cells. They look like that. When you look at a devil facial tumour that is down the microscope, it looks like that. Nothing like a Schwann cell at all. And that's why it's very hard to initially identify what it was, because it had these unusual features. It looked like more like a lymphocyte than anything else. Okay, so that devil facial tumour disease is a cancer of Schwann cells. Okay, what is a parasite? Now, I teach in the medical school, teach a lot of students, and if you don't know something, what do? You Google it.
Parasite.
There you go. Parasite. I know how to pronounce it now. So parasite, from Google, the first one that comes, is an organism that lives in, or another organism, its host, and benefits by deriving nutrients at the host's expense. Right. Does everyone agree with that definition? We'll have an argument here forever, I am sure. So let's look at devil facial tumour disease. It is smaller than the host, obviously, because it's a tumour, so that's a tick. It moves from one host to the next. So what will happen is that tumour, it's a transmissible cancer, goes from one host to the next host. It causes harm to the host. The metastases causes damage to the host. The host can't eat. It can get ulcerations. But it will move on to the next host before the host dies. So basically, from that aspect, it's a good parasite because it does kill the host, but not before it's managed to transmit to another host. And one other aspect is that the devil facial tumours, once the devil gets